I'm a cybersecurity student on a mission to get a work from home job, and I recently made some big changes to accommodate my limited and inconsistent energy, and I want to show me building the life I want as I'm building it. And I'll start with the way things were. So I was working part-time at an office job while also helping my family business. And on paper, it wasn't that much, but in reality, I couldn't balance it all. For the office job, I had a long commute into the city, and by the time I got home, I was completely drained. Then it was just trying to keep up with everything else: chores, laundry, dishes, basic responsibilities that don't stop just because you're fatigued. At the time, my mindset was basically, this is just what life is. Everyone is tired, everyone pushes through it. So I kept trying to manage it like a time problem. Like if I just organized better or pushed a little harder, somehow it would all balance out. But it didn't. I was constantly trying to run a system that I didn't actually have enough energy to make work. And it made me feel some real negative feelings because I couldn't keep up. I got to a point where I realized I couldn't keep going like that, not just because I was tired, but because it started to feel unsustainable in a very tangible way. It was affecting my mental health, and most of the time when I was sitting down and had a moment to relax, it felt like I couldn't fully breathe because I had used every bit of my energy just to stay semi-functional and had nothing left for anyone or anything else. And then that's when something shifted, because I started thinking, maybe this isn't how my life has to be. I have access to resources, good ones, and I need to actually use them while I can. So I started looking for remote work, anything that would remove the commute, anything that would give me a little more control over my schedule. Cybersecurity was something that kept showing up on this search. And in the past, I had been interested in computer science. I always thought, that's cool. But I never thought, hey, I should try this. I should go into this field. But I actually sat with the idea. There were things that were happening in my day-to-day life that felt like I was being nudged in that direction. And the more I looked into it, the more cybersecurity kept showing up as something that could realistically work for me. It wasn't going to be instant. It wasn't going to be easy, but it was realistically something I could do. I enrolled in an online program and officially started at the beginning of 2026. And at first I tried to balance everything. I tried to balance my job, my studies, my health, and all the normal responsibilities that don't go away because you're tired or because you're fatigued or because you're trying to change your life. But it became very apparent that that was not sustainable. I mean, I still had the same problem. My energy was inconsistent. I was constantly switching between trying to work, study, recover from working so I could study, just to make it to the next thing. I had to make a hard decision, and I left my job a couple months ago, but I'm extremely grateful. I'm so deeply thankful for the people in my life who have supported that decision. So shout out to my mom and dad. Thank you so much. I've tried too many times to record a transition right here because it felt abrupt. Just know that the subject is going to change just a little bit, but not really. I had accepted that my energy was limited and my energy was inconsistent, but I finally started piloting my life in a way where I was conscious of that in my schedule. There are some days where I feel mostly okay. I can get all of the things done and still have energy left over for socializing. And those days are really great. Visual, tangible progress is made. I really love those days. But then there are other days where it feels like my bones weigh 1,000 pounds. The energy I have has to be used towards basic things like getting out of bed, eating, showering, chores. A long time, I would force myself to function the same way every single day and to adapt to a life that didn't really fit me. And every time I pushed too far, my body would force me to stop. But that's one of the reasons that cybersecurity was so appealing to me, because it gives me the possibility of stable remote work. And I also really like the idea of YouTube because it gives me an opportunity to use this as a creative outlet that may also supplement my income. And both options work really well with flexibility. I think having multiple income streams is smart in general. And right now my goal is to build something sustainable for me in the long term instead of constantly trying to survive a lifestyle that clearly wasn't working for me. I started this channel on Monday and I didn't really know what to expect. A little bit of me thought I would post videos and no one would ever see them. And I mean, my friends would see them because I'd be like, hey, look what I've done. But I'm really surprised. On one of my shorts, I got like 1,700 views, and I don't know if that's a lot or a little, but from my perspective, it feels like a lot. And I was like, oh my goodness, dude, what? I was confused. I was trying to figure out why, who, how, and just decided that whatever happened, whether these views were a one-time thing, that I would just be grateful for it because it's a step in the direction I'm trying to get to. I also think that there's a lot of relatability in documenting the process of something because we don't start at success. I don't have everything figured out. I don't claim to be an authority on anything, especially anything productivity related. I'm just sharing what I'm doing and what's working for me. I want this space, this channel, to be a genuinely encouraging space. And I will talk about my struggles sometimes. I won't go into detail, but I will talk about them sometimes because they're a real part of my life. I don't want this to be me dwelling on negative things. I want to focus on adapting, experimenting, rebuilding, and trying to figure things out because it is a real part of my life. A phrase that's been stuck in my head for a long time. I can't remember when I saw it. I think it was on another YouTube video. It was, don't just try harder, try different. And I think people who connect with that idea will probably understand what I'm doing here. Thanks for listening.